Good evening. Thank you for having us. Again, my name is Jackie Beecham. I'm the Director of the Youth Parks and Community Enrichment Department. I might be biased, but we're ending with the really fun group. So Parks and Recreation, that's who we are. So all about fun and lots of good stuff you'll get to hear about this evening. I'm joined by part of our incredible executive team. We have a handful of other members of our executive team. This is just half of them that we gave the night off. So I'm happy to have these incredibly talented individuals with us today. Okay, so our mission, vision, and core values. So Ypce's mission, we call ourselves Ypce for Youth Parks and Community Enrichment. Together, we empower our youth, strengthen our neighborhoods, and provide life-enriching programs for a beautiful and livable community. Our vision is that our beautiful parks and enriching programs create a thriving community with healthy, strong, and cohesive neighborhoods. And of course, we value inclusiveness and equity, innovation, collaboration, stewardship, excellence, safety, customer service, enjoyment, and as I said, fun. Okay, we have a little video for you. They aren't here with us this evening, but I have to give a shout out to our incredible marketing team because that gives me chills. Seeing all incredible stuff happening in our department is really awesome. Okay, so our team is going to share with you a little bit. There's a sneak preview of some of the programs and services that we provide in the Youth Parks and Community Enrichment Department. But I'm going to kick it over to the team as we go through some of our divisions to give you a little bit more of an overview of what the many functions of our department are. So I'd like for Ray to come up and talk a little bit about admin and fiscal services.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ray Rodriguez. I'm the support services manager for Ypce. I oversee all the administrative functions for our department, all the fiscal management, the hiring process from start to finish. With the support of my team, we provide the budgetary and human resources support along with assisting in matters related to procurement, our grant writing and management, lease management. So basically all the administrative functions that help all the programs that you're going to hear about today. As I was introduced, they also mentioned that we have the Gifts to Share program. I am the executive director of that, and the Gifts to Share program is our nonprofit organization supporting the city and Sacramento Park recreation, cultural, education, and neighborhood improvement programs and facilities for the partners that we have with the city. Additionally, I am the support liaison for our Ann Land Bertha Henschel Memorial Fund Commission, along with our Parks and Community Enrichment Commission. So again, my team does all the behind the scenes that make this great, team, department kind of go. So thank you for your time tonight. I was happy to be here.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Wiseman. I'm the Park Planning and Development Manager. I oversee all the park development. So my team consists of, we have 2 park planners, and then we have 4 landscape architects, and then 3 admin staff that are assigned to the our division that help deliver the projects. We currently have about 236 parks in our system, with over 4,000 acres of parkland. We're always adding new parks and renovating parks, so my team kind of helps deliver all of those. So we work from everything from working with the developers when they're planning new subdivisions and that, and dedicating new parkland. We work with them to make sure that they're dedicating the proper amount of land for the parks. We work with them to come up with the amenities that would go in those parks, and then we also deliver those parks. So we do a lot of it internally. We do a lot of design internally. We also work with consultants, but we, plan to build these parks. So, let's see. We have our park planning team. They really kind of focus on looking at the bigger picture, how much parkland we have, how many amenities we have of each type. So we try to make sure that each community has, certain service levels of service goals, that we try to meet. We also take input from the community. We have things like the park planning programming guide, which is something that anyone can submit on at any time. But it's like if you have an idea about a park, something you'd like to see in a park, you can fill out a form, and we keep a record of that. And when we're looking at future funding options, we consider all the options. So it could come from a council member, it could come from a community member, it could come from an internal team member. But that's just a way we track everything to see what people would like to see in their parks. We do a more deep dive into that, every couple of years, and kind of go out for more public input on those type of things. Let's see. Right now, the planning team is working on the Parks Plan 2040. The Parks Plan 2040 basically is kind of like a guideline. We kind of assess where we're at with parks, our level of service and that, and then we kind of do a deeper dive and set the goals, through 2040 of what we'd like to see happen in the parks. We work with developers on turnkey type projects. That's when a developer actually builds a park sometimes, and so when they do the subdivision, they actually have the opportunity to design and build the park themselves, because sometimes the developers will use that as a marketing tool when selling homes, but it also, as soon as they build it, it becomes a City of Sacramento park, or sometimes they have us, they just pay the fees, and then my team would deliver those park improvements. So. That generally sums up what the park planning and development team does.
Thanks, Jason. Okay. In the Youth Parks and Community Enrichment Department, we also have our Park Safety Ranger Division. So our Park Safety Rangers, for those of you that arrived at 5:30, probably saw 3 of our rangers here tonight. They are comprised of a staff of 13. So we have 13 park rangers, and they're responsible for the service, safety, and preservation of all 236 parks that we have in the city. All of our bike trails, our aquatics facilities, our community centers. Our park rangers operate 365 days per year from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So every day of the year, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have, on average, 3 rangers on shift at any given time. They respond to over 3,000 calls annually for service, and that's based off of last year's numbers. The park safety team also works very collaboratively with other city staff and departments to respond to the impacts of homelessness. They are part of the city's new incident management team and rapid response protocols. They lead several camp cleanup efforts in our parks and open spaces citywide. And something really special to share over this last year and recently, in fact, we've had our park rangers that were first on scene to a few critical incidents involving car accidents, water rescues, and crisis situations where the actions of our team resulted in 8 lives being saved. So this team, while there are only 13 of them, they play a really critical service here in the city and for our parks. Our park maintenance division, our park maintenance managers are unable to be with us tonight. This team is supported by 125 full-time park maintenance employees and 10 seasonal maintenance workers that are responsible for the daily care and maintenance of our 236 parks. Those are our developed parks. We also have several community gardens, of course, our bike trails, and our open spaces that spans over 4,000 acres. These spaces are used daily, as you all know, by youth and families all across the city. Our current funding levels for our staff levels provides for just the very basic landscape services and general upkeep for all 236 parks of ours. But our team does much more than that. They are often tasked with trash cleanups, additional landscaping duties, restroom cleanups. They respond to over 2,600 311 requests each fiscal year for additional services or matters of concern beyond their regular maintenance, including safety, environmental sustainability, litter removal, and vandalism across all of our parks. This is just a little overview of our park maintenance core services. So this demonstrates the minimum levels that are necessary to maintain our parks at a basic level for user satisfaction. Higher levels of park user satisfaction are increased with the frequency, right, of being able to perform this work. Some of the work that's done, more specifically to our athletic fields happens on a less frequent basis and really depends on the type of funding that's available. But this is what our current funding levels look like for our park maintenance core services. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Renee.
Good evening, everyone. As introduced, my name is Renee Koss, and I'm the Youth Development Program Manager. We are the newest division now with Ypce. We were formerly in the CMO's office, and then we were with OIED, and now we have landed, hopefully permanently, with Ypce. So we're really excited about that. The Youth Development team is comprised of 5 staff, 6 including myself, and we also will be adding some more staff with the Sacramento Children's Fund. So our main goal is around grant making and grant monitoring. That's what our focus is at this time. Last fiscal year, we put out about $6 million in funds to our external CBOs. So we are providing grant money to community-based organizations, non-governmental organizations that cover anything from substance use to capacity building, workforce development, and those are city and state-funded grants. We also are now taking on the Sacramento Children's Fund that some of you may be familiar with, also known as Measure L. That is going to be comprised of the 40% cannabis tax, and it's going to be focused around our youth fund goals, which you can find in our citywide youth plan. Our citywide youth development plan kind of rolls out the entirety of our youth development team. We are looking at the purview of any program evaluation or policy development or grant making. We're going to always try to bring it back to what we've put into the citywide youth development plan that was adopted in 2017. We also have a big focus on data evaluation and continuous quality improvement, both on our external programs that we're funding through the city or through the state, and our internal youth programs as well. So, we're trying to get indicators that are common across the board with police, fire, the library, Ypce, any youth serving or driven programming to see how we can improve upon our youth programs as a whole, and how we can support our nonprofits as well in doing so. I am also going to be presenting our youth division on behalf of Monica Blanco, who's the rec manager for that team. So first we have the Civic Engagement Sacramento Youth Commission. They meet on Mondays. They have 19 appointed youth from 14 to 24 years of age, and they really are the official youth voice of the city of Sacramento. They are a public commission, so they, if you have any concerns or you want to bring anything and want our youth input, that's the place to do it. We also have Summer at City Hall. This is a 6-week summer program. We serve 9th to 11th graders from Sac City, Twin Rivers, and Atomas Unified School District. They have had about 625 graduates in the last 12 years, and it's stipend-based. So once the students have completed the program, they are entitled to a $500 stipend. It happens over the summer. They have a variety of curriculum that is being followed and teachers that come in to provide that, and it's held at City Hall, so they get to work in the council chambers and get exposed to some of our government practices within the city. They also, depending on the school program, are entitled to up to 5 credits for extracurricular activity and they get community service hours as well. Next, we have our expanded learning. This is going to be our before and after school licensed childcare, which is 4th R. They're serving K through 6th grade, and they have 19 elementary school sites. This includes Sac City Unified, Twin Rivers, and Atomas, once again. We also have our Sacramento Star After School program, which is K through 6th grade, and they have 5 elementary school sites, so we do have staff that are on site at these locations. ACES is 7th and 8th grade after school programs. They have 1 middle school site, and then we have Summer Oasis, which is our summer program. They're serving 1st through 6th grade. They are fee-based, 4 park locations, so Summer Oasis is held outside at the parks, and they often have scholarships or fee waivers available for those youth that, are needing extra assistance. We now have our workforce development. So there's quite a few programs that are under the workforce development team. Youth Leaders of Tomorrow, those are 10 to 12 years old. They are entitled to a stipend upon completion of program. We have Primetime Teen, 13 to 17 years old. They also have a stipend. These few groups are held throughout the year in cohorts, so they're like 6 to 8 week programs, and it's actually a really good opportunity for the community to get involved. They often have mock interviews. With Primetime Teen, they do a budget challenge, and it's kind of like a real life game of life, and I actually did it one time and was one of their facilitators, and it's really fun to see how they want to parcel out their money for their life, their potential life. Landscape and Learning is our very robust landscape workforce development program for 14 to 17-year-olds, and that's a paid work experience. They sometimes have returning youth very often, and they do get new youth. I think the last round of interviews, they had around 160 applications that they went through that all had to get interviewed. So that's another opportunity for the community to get involved and do some interviews with them as well. We have Junior Rec Aid, that's going to be 15 to 17 years old. A lot of time, the Junior Rec Aid program is an opportunity for students to get exposed to workforce development and then transition into other Rec Aid positions in community centers or within our youth division. We also have WIOA, that is a federally funded program through SETA. And they are a workforce development program as well, and they are mainly focused at-risk youth or youth that are held in our priority neighborhoods, and they have to be seniors to get that opportunity. And last, we have the Youth Development Institute, YDI. Some of you may have been a YDI participant at some time, but it's also a great opportunity. We also, with the youth development team, have a big focus on youth development. Your agreements that you guys created, I'm assuming on week 1 is kind of part of our YDI model as well. We teach all about how agreements are important. And now I will pass it off to Anthony, who's going to talk about community enrichment.
Thank you, Renee. Good evening. My name is Anthony Munoz, Recreation Manager with our Community Enrichment Division. This is a big division with multiple teams included. I'll try to go quick, but if you have any questions, feel free to save them towards the end. The first part of the first division within our community enrichment team is our community centers. So we currently operate 15 community centers throughout the city of Sacramento. This past year, we added back the Clooney Community Center, Johnston Community Center, and then we also, 2 years ago, added the North Natomas Community Center. So most of our community centers right now are operating Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to noon. We're currently at the Oak Park Community Center. This is a perfect example of all the services that we provide and what our facilities offer. Our facilities are used for programming and events. We have wellness rooms here. We have multi-purpose rooms. Our community centers over the past few years have been used as vaccination sites, voting locations, emergency shelters. So we're activated almost every day of the week. Another piece of our community centers is our reservations office. This is where our park permits happen and our sports fields permitting happens. So if you want to get a picnic permit in any one of our 220 plus parks, you could go by our reservations office or work through our SAC Recreation email address to reserve parks and athletic fields. We currently use a software system called ActiveNet that we do our program registration through. So the majority of our programming is free, but we still do take registration for that. In addition to that, our community centers also offer after-school programs during the school year and summer camps in the summertime. We have hotspots events throughout, family special events, and a variety of recreation classes throughout community centers. This includes dance, karate, fitness, a variety of activities for all ages. One of the most recent trends that we've seen in community centers post-pandemic is the activation of seniors coming. We do have our Hart Senior Center in the Midtown area, but seniors have been back, fully engaged in our community centers, so we've increased that level of programming that we offer. We, over the past 2 years, have started an early learning rec program over at the Coloma Community Center, at the Clooney Community Center, and at the Hagenwood Community Center. And then, again, during the pandemic, we offered a variety of special events, drive-throughs at a variety of community centers. We've transitioned those drive-throughs back to in-person special events. So be on the lookout for those. Another division is the community recreation, and that's our youth and adult sports team. So we have a variety of youth sports that includes junior giants, junior NBA, NFL flag. We have the 28th and B skate park that we have programming at. And then in that first intro video, you saw the Sacramento softball complex. Again, we do a variety of rentals and leagues at that complex. And then we have a leisure enrichment program. It allows us to bring in contracted instructors to fill any voids that we're not able to offer programming with. Our Access Leisure and Adaptive Sports focuses on providing programming for anybody with intellectual and physical disabilities. Again, this is for all ages, and we most recently started a youth and teen program at a few of our community centers, after-school program. And then in the summertime, we provide camp and outdoor recreation programs as well. Our older adult services, again, the focal point for this is our Hart Senior Center in the Midtown area. We offer a variety of recreation programs, social services, and we serve over 2,000 seniors on a monthly basis. We do have 3 licensed R day programs, one at the Hart Senior Center, one in Woodlake, and one at South Hills. Again, another program that's become very popular are our neighborhood walk programs for seniors, and those are offered at multiple community centers throughout. Our aquatics team, so water safety and recreational swim programs for youth and adults and families at 17 facilities citywide. This includes 1 regional aquatics complex, 12 neighborhood pools, and 4 wading pools. We offer recreational swimming, swim lessons, swim team, lap swim, water aerobics, junior lifeguard, and lifeguard training, and a variety of special events. We have upcoming floating pumpkin patches at 2 of our pools, one in North Natomas and one at Pinnell. We offer $30,000, more than $30,000 annually in scholarships, and we employ over 200 youth. We also have Camp Sacramento. It's 100 years old, and this is a family camp that's offered in the middle of June through September. We have mini camps that go, and then we have private rentals that take place after Labor Day weekend. Permitting and events. We have a special events and permitting and events team that permits large-scale events, 200 and plus attendees. A lot of these take place downtown, walks, parades, runs, anything like that, large scale. We work with the police, fire department, parking, and traffic engineering to make sure that these events could come to town and operate safely throughout. We offer neighborhood block party permits, and we have an event support services team that supports a variety of council events, large and small, throughout the city of Sacramento. Turn it over to Jackie.
My name is Carmichael Real. I've been working with the city for about 6 years now. Started out as a bill monitor, then a rec aide, then a senior rec aide, then a program leader, and now I am currently the program coordinator for the McKinley campus, which is the Clooney Community Center, the McKinley Rose Garden, and the Shepherd Garden and Arts.
My name is Jennifer Yarrow, and I am the Recreation General Supervisor for Access Leisure and Adaptive Sports.
Hi, I'm Ignacio Moreno. I've been with YPCE since 2019.
So I just celebrated my 15th year with the city. Started when I was 17 as a lifeguard, and it was a great summer job.
Yeah, my name is Jason Wiseman. I am the Park Planning and Development Manager. I oversee all the park development. That's working with developers for turnkey projects or developing parks, renovating parks.
My name is Chris Wimberly. I am a recreation superintendent within the Youth Parks and Community Enrichment Department, commonly known as Ypce. And the role I have currently is I am the manager that supports operations within the Youth Workforce Development Unit within the Youth Division.
I started with YPCE back when I was going to Sacramento State. I was trying to earn my degree in business marketing. At the time, I needed a seasonal job, so I was hired as a utility worker in the event support division, where I was able to still go to school full time and work nights, weekends, and that ended up just continuing to progress and work my way through a variety of positions here.
Because I didn't know anything about community center until I started working there. But after working with many seniors, then teens, then youth, it kind of drew me to wanting to be like a role model, counselor, or teacher to some of these folks.
I started working for the city in 1988 as a rec leader, and then I moved up to a program coordinator, supervisor, and then a rec general supervisor.
Right now I love mentoring the youth and the management team. I know the city like the back of my hand, so I'm pretty proud of being able to get to every single pool facility without Google Maps.
I started as the volunteer coordinator in 2019, and then I became park supervisor in 2022, of March of 2022. And I previously was in urban forestry for 24 years, so I've been with the city for a little bit over 27 years.
I worked for private companies for many years, for my first 10 years of my career. In those 10 years, I worked on a couple parks projects for the city of Sacramento. I've really loved working on the parks projects, and so my goal automatically was try to get into the Parks Department and work for Ypce.
So I have actually been within this department close to 30 years now. The importance of a young person and communities of all ages to have opportunities to build safe communities for themselves and future generations.
I volunteered, I believe, in 2016, and then I started working as an actual staff member in 2017. And they really liked my work ethic and how I work with the kids.
So I was pretty good at basketball, so I kind of knew like the leaders of the league, or like the coordinators of the league. They interviewed me, I got the job. Started out being a coach, working at different schools, coaching basketball and flag football. So I went from rec aide there to senior rec aide. I got promoted to program leader, which made me transfer over to George Sim. So I went from being a program participant to being a rec aide, to being a senior rec aide, to being a program leader, to now being a program coordinator. And I don't plan on stopping here. Hopefully, my journey continues and I just keep growing within the department.
I'll think about disc golf park. It's a growing sport over here, and so we had my first disc golf park that I helped install here was at McClatchy Park. It was a park that had a lot of crime-ridden area. There was not really any positive use happening. We put in the disc golf park, and then it started, creating this positive energy around the park, which sparked, more development.
We really go out and make sure the parks, the playing fields, the playgrounds, the amenities there at the park are usable for the public to come out and enjoy.
We have diverse programming that we offer through aquatics, community centers, youth development. We address all ages, from youth to teens. We offer special events, so we have after-school programming. We are really trying to go out and meet the youth where they're at, instead of expecting them to come to us.
And many of them may not find an interest in STEM or anything science related, but they could probably find something within sports or a different type of art. So it's a lot more about exploration and introducing things to them that they haven't seen before.
We're normally the first job for some of these candidates that work for us, and I see them go from a lifeguard all the way into management.
So it's exciting to see a young person taking that kind of the concept of cradle to career and using the programs that we have as a tool to become productive young adults and provide that impact to a young person is an amazing feeling to see that success.
I have worked in the department for 35 years, and I have seen it go from just little programming to camps and outdoor education and adaptive sports and just amazing opportunities that we're providing for our community with people with disabilities. They have a really hard time getting involved in community events, and so our programs have been able to, envelop them and just bring them back into community and enjoy what they used to in their daily lives.
Kids are excited to be there. If it's a fun program, if you are valuing them within the program and they're engaging in the program, participating, have responsibilities, your kids stay and they go program after program after program.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool seeing, like, especially at Bell College, they have like gymnasium with like kids and like they do acrobat stuff. It's really cool, yeah. It's like, and then they have the senior sewing class or senior fitness over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is pretty cool seeing like the demographics of like age and like the variety of like stuff.
They were the coolest people in the world, and they were here every day to, give me their service, give me the service that the community center or the program that I was going to provided. And I just wanted to instill that in myself to make sure that I was that person that people look up to me and say, you know what, Mr. Storm is awesome. He does great things, and having those role models just kind of shaped me to be who I am today. And I'm forever grateful for everyone that helped me along the way.
All right. That is just a snippet of the stories that we have in our department. We have over 700 FTE, over 1,000 employees, and so many of them started in our programs, grew up in our programs. For many of them, this was their safe space. This was the hot meal that they got every night before they went to their homes. So I just love that. If you can't tell by the smile on my face, that makes me really proud to be part of this team. So a couple of our highlights and accomplishments. We're very short on time, and I have one last little snippet of a video to show you. But these are just some of the accomplishments from the last year, and we're happy to answer more questions for you after the presentation or even after tonight. And then some of our priorities and objectives as we move forward into the new year. Jason mentioned the Parks Plan. We have an Equity Lens dashboard that our team has worked on. We are planning to implement as we utilize it for decision-making in the future. Of course, continuing to prioritize climate and sustainability through the work that we're doing and several other efforts. One last video for you.
I just felt connected to recreation. So from there, I just committed to doing whatever I needed to do to make a career out of this. So knowing that I could have impact and being a part of something bigger than myself means a lot to me. When I think about the resources, the access, and the creative freedom that I have currently right now with Ypce to impact the community, it just gets me excited to know that I could walk in and just see a need. It's like we just care about solving the need in the community and that tangible need, right? So that kind of stuff gets me excited, yeah. The different students that she's seen come in this building and leave a different way, and the families that have been touched by our after school and youth and teen programs. But I would say, I remember how big of a deal Parks and Rec was to me. All these different funding sources that we have to keep our buildings open, running, and to keep programs being provided, they matter. So come hang out with us, enroll your students. I think leisure and recreation is one of the most important things anybody can do. Relaxing, I'm talking about when we get home, we have responsibilities, we have families, we have other things that we need to tend to. So having a space where you can come and relax is important. So let's take advantage of these things, because there's a lot of other places in the world that don't have that, but we do here in Sacramento. We have a ton of it. I would just encourage you to just come to our Ypce stuff. We really care about the community.
And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.